Is Jennifer Waters. Hello. Welcome back. I am one of the acupuncturists and practitioners at CNY Fertility, and you can find me in upstate New York at the CNY Healing Arts location. As it turns out, CNY Healing Arts moved into where my practice has been. So lucky me, right? It's really nice to work with like-minded people who are all doing the same thing. We are all working together to help you to reduce pain, suffering, reduce inflammation, bacteria, viruses, whatever you have going on. We are here. We're working on our creative side to try to figure out what is the best way to serve you all. There's a lot of emphasis on the body, right? I think as practitioners, we tend to go right to the physical, how to decrease, pain, help your collagen to be induced, whatever it is. But we have to remind ourselves that it's also about what's going on in your mind, in your spirit, how you are feeling really matters. And I notice all the time we minimize that. All of the complementary, integrative, real health, common sense practitioners all minimize that. And it's unfortunate. That's where we need to begin. Our check-in has to begin with what are we not thinking about, meaning our unconscious part of ourself, the part that we were programmed from ages 0 to 7. Were we taught that the body is not designed to heal? Were we taught to not trust ourselves? If that was the case, and it probably was, I'm sure your parents did the best job that they could, but people say things, it has a big impact on you. You don't even realize it till you're older, and you're trying to figure out how can you get your body to change. It's not responding in the way that you had imagined. And why is that? And you have to kind of go back to the beginning sometimes to examine. It could be how you were programmed. So anyways, back to the physical world. Today I want to talk briefly about PRP and stem cell therapy and technology. I do believe that the future of fertility is going to include stem cell production, stem cell transplants. How could it not? Because we already see what's happening with PRP. Now, I'm sure all of you know Dr. Verdi Ellis. On January 12th, I believe, she did a Facebook Live talking about PRP. It's one of her specialties. I highly recommend watching it. I learned a lot. She's very forward thinking. And I think she said that that's how she ended up joining the team with CNY Fertility, is because of the research, the studies, and she published some of her own on PRP, the platelet-rich plasma, which some of you have heard of, probably in the cosmetic world, combining it with microderm, microneedling with PRP to enhance the healing, enhance the effectiveness. With alopecia, hair loss, they're doing PRP injections. So this is taking your blood out, spinning it, and then re-injecting it, okay? So, Lisa, I'll answer that question in a second. So it's really amazing, right? It's incredible technology that's available. So what does this have to do? It's very similar when you think about it in theory with stem cells. And mostly we think of, when you research stem cells, there's all different kinds of stem cells, right? Meaning they're harvested from different parts of the body, bone marrow, umbilical cord, endometrial lining. And so it's harvesting the stem cells and then reintroducing them to your body. So that is a very expensive thing to do. On average, the last time I checked, which was December 21st of 2021, a good number there, 12, 21, 21. It was between $5,000 and $50,000 was the average stem cell transplant. So hopefully that's going to be coming down, 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 like all innovations in healthcare, right? It starts expensive and then it goes down. We hope if if the motivation is to truly benefit you, the patient or the client, then the price should decrease, not increase as it does in the pharmaceutical world often. So pay attention to that. We have power as consumers. Our voices need to be heard. And so, anyways, my interest in stem cell technology really has to do with how can we endogenously create the stem cells on our own? Meaning, what can you do to biochemically influence your body so that you are producing your own stem cells, which come out of amino acids in the GHK copper peptide? So what can you do to increase this? It's not a supplement, so that you have more stem cells. It's pretty interesting. If you Google it, a lot of cool stuff is going to come up. There are diets for stem cell production, not a lot. Mostly it's based on, don't tell Dr. Kiltz this, and I'm not saying that I'm behind it. I'm just saying what I have found so far, which is really based on cruciferous vegetables. So all of the brassicas, the cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage. And it's interesting because those are also ones that are connected with DIM, removing excess estrogen in the body. So that could be, and I bet there's a correlation there. As we balance hormones, decrease extra estrogen, will that allow a proliferation of stem cells? So I don't know yet. I also read a study a while ago that every time you chew, you can actually create stem cells from mastication. Where does that actually go? I don't really know. They weren't really clear. Does it go into your saliva? How does this actually happen? Is it because pounds per square inch, this is the strongest muscle in the body? I don't know. I'm not really sure. So anyways, it's something that we need to pay attention to. I think it could be very helpful in terms of improving egg quality. Absolutely, with ovarian function. Will it help with your endometrial receptivity? Possibly. Could you get stem cells through long-term fasting? Here's the thing, more and more research is done. So, as you know, I've been involved with healthcare, gosh, almost 50 years now. Back in the day, everybody talked about fasting, juice fasting, water fasting. 1 week, 28 days, a lot of fasting. Then fast forward to the 90s, not so much on fasting. It was more restricted diets, rotation diets, anti-allergy diets. And now fast forward to now, we're revisiting all of the discussions about fasting, especially intermittent fasting, which is creating the stress that we need. It's positive stress in the body. We always think of stress as bad. I want you to also think of it as beneficial stress through fasting. Absolutely giving the body a break, giving your digestive system a break. There is something that I read yesterday, actually, now you're reminding me from that question about intermittent fasting and stem cell production. So, I would propose that if that's something that you're interested in, stem cell production. So remember, stem cells are recruited by the body wherever they need to go, wherever there's damage and there's inflammation. And remember, you have an innate intelligence of the body. If your whole focus right now is preparing your ovaries for a retrieval, for example, and you're doing supplements for that, and you're doing self-care massage, and you're doing LED light therapy, in your mind, you're talking to your ovaries, you're listening to your ovaries, then I have no doubt that if you're going to be doing things like phototherapy patches or intermittent fasting or nutrition for stem cells, then your ovaries are going to recruit them. They are, because that's what where your mind is. That's where the attention is. And so they go where they're needed most. So, however, that being said, I also believe that if we're going to use something like a phototherapy patch, which has a crystalline structure on it, which when combined with your body, which becomes the battery, it is creating a biochemical change in the body. So the studies, which I think I've read all of them now, on how the non-transdermal patches, remember, this is not donating anything to your body. This is using light frequencies to create a biochemical response. So therefore, there are no contraindications because the body is designed to heal itself and repair. It's much different than saying, I'm going to do a vitamin C infusion, or I'm going to take liposomal glutathione. I'm going to supplement things in my body which could have contraindications. So you really need to be clear what you're doing, when, why, for how long, dosage, frequency, all of that. But when you get the body to create it on its own, there are no contraindications because there are no mistakes. The body knows what to do. It's the difference between using a patch that will create the body to create its own melatonin to help you sleep or as an antiviral, versus supplementing with melatonin, right? So it's always better to do the former. Whenever you get the body just to function better, you're going to be better, right? So the theories, the studies, and the patents on the stem cell patch in particular shows that after sometimes as little as 1 day, there's an increase in the amino acids. After 7 days, there's a marked rise in the blood of the amino acids that are behind the stem cell production, as well as the GHK copper peptide. As I'm continuing into this journey and have more experience and time with folks and getting the biggest testimonials that I've really seen comes after 3 months of regular use. So those of you that know me, if you have 3 days, I like to stay in reality, meet you where you're at. If you have a couple days, it's like eating well. Of course you feel better after a good meal. And of course you feel horrible after eating a bad meal. That's having an effect. So whatever we can do in a couple days, a week, let's go for it and improve your outcomes as much as we possibly can. But if you happen to have a month or 2 months or 3 months, then yes, please, let's do it. Let's try. Let's do what we can to help you. Okay. Lisa, I just had my 3rd PRP. Let's say you're going to need patches on time. Well, it depends. If you can, I would say yes. I mean, do you really need them? No. Would it be ideal? Yes. Now, in terms of progesterone, okay, so I posed this question yesterday. Dr. Magnarelli did a talk on progesterone. I haven't listened to it yet, but I commented, I hope that he'll respond. The difference between prescription or injections progesterone versus bioidentical, okay? So again, we come back to when you use something natural, you cannot overdose. I do not believe it's going to increase your progesterone levels. I really don't think so. Versus progesterone in oil, the way it's metabolized in the body, metabolized through the liver, is going to be a lot different than something transdermal, which is bioidentical, versus a prescription, right? So a lot of that could depend on the health of your liver, your kidneys. How are things functioning? So I would want to talk to you, Lisa. about that. Call me if you want to. You've got my number. Text me and I will call you back. Okay. I'm sorry to hear that. Yes, PRP and PRF for hair. Yep. Yep. It really was. I know Dr. V, she gives us a lot of hope that here's the thing, there's so much science in the world of regenerative medicine now. There's so much hope. There's so many positive things that are available for us. I am pretty sure that we cannot extend our lives. I know that's a really bold statement, but there's been no proof, as far as I can tell, that we can extend our life. However, I'm 1,000% sure that we can improve the quality of our life. Do you want to live to 110 if you can't see, hear, walk, think? No, you don't. Would you rather live to 85 and be able to have full cognitive functioning, purpose, meaning, joy, relationships? Yes. So it's not about extending, it's about improving. So that's my thing. So we're going to continue to talk on this subject. I was able to ask Dr. Kiltz about it yesterday. He's very busy. Unfortunately, his time is being spent on this ridiculous lawsuit that he is in. He is being sued by another fertility doctor, and it has to do with the patent that they have on the use of DHEA treating fertility, and I'm going to be finding out more about that. I think he's very courageous and creative in wanting to let everybody know what's going on. I wanted to talk to him about stem cell production and what can we do and what is the future of fertility, and he's got to be focused on the lawsuit. So that's affecting all of us. We are one. This is not just a theory. We are literally all interconnected as beings. So, another doc was going to do it. Yeah, I know. It is insane. And it is a big problem in what I call the disease care system, is that it's all about litigation, right? It's not about how can we help the patient? How can we bring the price down of medication? How can we do things that really matter for you? Let's listen to what you want. No, it's all about litigation, money, greed. It's terrible. So I could talk about that for way too long. It is what motivated me into what I call healthcare, true healthcare, which is not complementary healthcare, nor is it integrative. So thank you all for listening. I hope that this was beneficial. I'm going to be continuing to talk on this subject. I do have a website now. That's the big news of the week. After it crashed last week, it's now back up. You can't do much on there, but you can schedule with me. There's a link there. But anyways, if you have questions, you want to try the stem cell patches, I'm going to give you my email address. Go ahead and reach out to me. You are light 10. That is the truth. And keep me posted on your journey. We are all doing the best that we possibly can to help you. I'm going to say goodbye to Facebook so I can talk to Instagram here for a moment.